Hi YouTube, my name is Megan. I decided to start off with this video because I just got inspired. One day I was surfing, the YouTube, and I stumbled upon a video by Manny MUA called I Have Vitiligo, and it is basically about him and describing vitiligo and how it affects him, and it just really prompted me to want to do video, because at first when I first saw him I had said to myself, that's not that bad, to have vitiligo, because he was talking about how vitiligo affected his skin. He had different pigments on his skin, and I was just like, that's not too bad. I don't just really understand why it would affect you so much. But then it hit me, and I was like, wait a second, I know exactly how you feel, because I have eczema and it does the same thing. Well, maybe not the same thing, but it gives me different pigments on my skin. And I was just like, oh my god, I know exactly how you feel. And then I ended up just wanting to give him a hug, and I was just like, you're there. And I wanted to kind of like let him know that you're not alone. And I also want to do this video because I've looked up videos on eczema before, and I don't really see a lot of them. So I thought, why not add? Why not put my little video on there, so it may help whoever else has eczema, whoever else has questions about it, it might help them along the way. So I first got eczema when I was in 11th grade. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that I got eczema. Well, I did get eczema, but I didn't really know it was eczema at that time. So yeah. I first noticed some spots, some different colored spots on my skin when I was in 11th grade, and at first it was just 2 spots. There was one on my thigh, and then there was another on the opposite side on my hip over here. And I was just like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And I had like a lot of people just telling me like different things, and they were basically like, just don't worry about it, it's nothing, and I was just like, okay, if it's nothing, I guess. And I mean, it was still like bothering me, because it's like, what is this on my skin? It wasn't there before, and now it is, so what is it? Of course I wanted to get rid of it, but I never really went to the doctor, well, a doctor, until the one that saw my thighs started giving me problems. And at first it's not like we really could have went to the doctor to begin with, whether it was just a spot or whatever, because we didn't really have insurance at the time. So I just kind of had to stick with it. But then it started to really give me problems, and my mom was like, okay, well, we've gotta go see a doctor, one that we can afford out of pocket. So we did, and we went to go see a physician. And the physician, when we first went to see him, he said that I had something. I didn't remember what he said, and I tried to look at what he said on the paper, but his handwriting was so bad, I had no idea what it said. But we got a prescription for it, and it was pills. And when I first got the pills, the spots started spreading, and I no longer had it on my thigh and on my hip, but I had it going pretty much all down my legs. And I was just like, Well, I mean, well, at first I didn't really pay it any mind because I looked at the side effects, and one of the side effects was acne, and I was like, oh, you know, that must be what it is, acne, because I also had some on my back. Like, it was like really bumpy on the top center of my back, and I had like kind of dark spots on my legs or whatever. But I was like, yeah, it'll go away. It's not, you know, this thing. It's just a side effect. But, you know, I never finished those pills because more side effects started to come along, and it was a long list of side effects. Long list of side effects, and more side effects started coming along. And I think after, like, something was happening with my eyes. I felt like I was getting a little, like, I don't know, a little fuzzy. I don't know. But I was like, you're not messing with my eyes. I'm gonna have to stop taking you. So I did. And then we went back to the physician because that's all we could afford. Went back to the physician, and then he said I had psoriasis. And then he gave me a cream for psoriasis, and it was working. Anyways, it was working for a little bit, and I don't remember what made us go to another doctor, but we did. Oh, I think around that time the one on my thigh started to ooze. Yeah, like, I don't know how other people's eczemas go. Like, there are some that have dry eczema, but my eczema was the oozy kind. And this was kind of torture for me because, first of all, eczema itches. Everyone knows eczema itches. You know, that's like the main thing with eczema, itches. But for me, well, not just for me, I'm pretty sure for all people who have eczema, there's like, you could tell the difference between like a regular little itch, you know, oh, I got an itch, oh, scratch, okay, it's over, and an eczema itch. Actually, that made me ticklish a little bit. But you know, there's a difference between that and an eczema itch, and I call it eczema itch because, I mean, it's different. Like, an eczema itch, like, once you touch it, it just kind of reels you in after that. Like, once you get a little scratch, you need to go until really you went too far, and then after that you realize that you've broken your skin, and now it's even more damage, and that's going to cause more damage to the eczema and probably make it spread, make it last longer. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes me feel terrible because, you know, now I've prolonged the process. So, you know, with that, so anyway, so that's what was happening with my skin, and it was just getting to the point where I just had to put like a big old bandage over it because it was leaking so terribly. I just did not know what to do, and it was itching, and I didn't want to scratch it because it was disgusting. It was really oozy and really gross. And, you know, it's just like, once you itch it, and then once you get it on your fingernails, then it leaves you vulnerable because it's now on your hands. And what do you not do with your hands, really? I mean, you open things with your hand. You know, me, I do a lot of this, you know, my head's heavy. I need to rest it sometimes. I do a lot of that. And, you know, that makes my face in danger. Of course, you know, you gotta pick up things, you know, pick up some socks, put it on, you know, you might end up tainting the socks, getting it on your legs, or, you know, putting it on your hands. And I've ended up getting some eczema on the back of my hand. And yeah, so after that we really had to go and see some more doctors because obviously this physician guy wasn't working. And we finally got our insurance, and I don't know why we went to this first, but we ended up going to like my regular doctor, you know, the doctor that you usually just go and see checkups and stuff like that. So we went to him, and he did a culture on one of my I don't want to say open wounds, but one of my oozy spots, active spots. And you know, he did the test and he came back and called me and he said that I had some really deadly fungus on my legs, and that's what it was. And you know, my mom's a nurse. He prescribed us to get some cream for it. My mom's a nurse. One, it was expensive, we didn't have insurance to cover that, and two, my mom's just like, that's a really serious claim. I don't really know if it's really that. I kind of want to go to a dermatologist before I, one, spend the money to get this cream, and two, put you at risk for that, because you know, that's really strong and that could harm you if that's not what it is. So we ended up going to a dermatologist. And you know, she just comes in, the first thing she says, she goes, oh, that's eczema. And you know, I'm gonna need more proof than that, because I know you're a dermatologist, I know this is your thing, but I did get 3 wrong diagnoses already, and I kind of would like to know for sure. So she did a biopsy. I really feel like I'm definitely throwing out the wrong word there, so I'm gonna just leave that alone. And I'm just gonna describe to you what she did. She she just she got one of the active spots and she peeled off some of that from the active spot, and then she tested it, and then she came back and she was like, see, it was eczema, I told you. And I was just like, I would have preferred to get the test, because I mean, too many wrong diagnoses already. I need to be sure. So she ended up giving me a cream for it, and it did help. But yeah, but of course, you know, when you don't have insurance, it ran out and I didn't have enough money to get that, so yeah. But anyways, she ended up giving me a cream for it, and it went down and it was good. But you know, when you have eczema, the parts that are active, the parts that are active, you know, they leave behind scars. And my type of eczema, I have the circular type of eczema. Yeah, there's different types of eczema. Mine just happened to leave circular-ish wounds or scars or whatever on my skin, and like literally, like everything, every scar is pretty kind of circular. They're not like perfect circles, but they're pretty circular. And you know, just having those on your skin, it's kind of hard, especially when you first end up with them. Like, you just end up looking down at your skin and you could just remember, like, you know, my skin wasn't always like that, you know. My skin used to be nice and clear, and I can go out and wear shorts if I want to, but now you have these spots, or you have these scars on your legs, you have these different pigments on your legs, and it just really closes you off. Now you just feel like you need to hide them all the time, because, you know, that's different now, you know. It's not the way it used to be, and now you have to end up trying to cope with it. It's just hard, because it just really makes you feel ugly. Really. It makes you feel a little like you need to hide yourself and self-conscious. And, you know, I just want to let, you know, people know that, I mean, after a while, you do kind of get over it, because, you know, it gets hot. It gets hot. And, you know, you gotta end up living sometimes. And, I mean, and you gotta remember that nobody's perfect. You know, everybody has their flaws and their scars and stuff like that. So, you know, so what if you have a little bit of scars? You know, it's not gonna hurt anybody. The only person that's gonna really get hurt by it is you. And I say that meaning, like, you know, if you have eczema, like what, like me, if you have like eczema or something that will spread, it's not gonna spread. You're not gonna touch your eczema and touch somebody else and it'll spread to them. You could touch you and touch another part of your skin and it'll probably spread to you. That's what I mean. But you know, it's not gonna harm anybody else. So, you know, you just gotta wear it and you just gotta do what you gotta do, man. You can't let like stuff like this ruin your life. And how I've learned to that's how I've learned to cope with it, really. Well, really. Like, you know, I didn't always have insurance, so, you know, the cream was fine, but when it ran out, it ran out. And then I ended up suffering all over again because I didn't have this cream. I just became dependent on this cream. I really didn't like that, first off, because I just like imagine myself 10, 20 years later, you know, saying, oh, gotta put on my cream, don't want it to activate, you know, gotta keep that eczema down. I just did not want to live like that. So, but I mean, that's the way it seemed to be going. But after a while of not having my insurance, I definitely found some ways to cope with it and keep the eczema down without having to use the cream. And in my next video, well, not really my next video, if you want to find out how I ended up coping with my eczema, how I ended up keeping it down, you know, you can like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment saying that, you know, you'd like to see that, you know, and, you know, that would be great. I'd really appreciate that. And you could also I'm planning on doing some DIY decorative things later on, so if you'd like to see that, you can comment about that too, or, you know, just do it anyways. But, you know, you can leave a comment and tell me what you'd like to see, or that you'd like to see my thing, and I'll let you know what it's gonna be later on. And yeah, if you'd like to see more, if you like this video at all, you know, just leave a comment, and I'd really appreciate that. And thank you. Bye. That would really suck if I was in frame this whole time. Hello YouTube, my name is Megan. I decided to do this video because